Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your favorite podcast, the Dudes Club podcast, where we talk about Jesus and how much he puts himself inside of us. As
Exactly.
always, I'm granted by Jesus himself.
Yep, it's me, Jesus.
Yeah. So, Jesus,
Yep.
I have some fantastic news that
Oh yeah.
So if people at home have been following, I have this fantastic collection of Lego games that I'm currently trying to play and beat at 100%. As of Saturday, I now own all of them.
Very nice.
Yes, I bought them all. They were all on Steam sale, so I was just like, I'm going to grab them. And so now I own every single Lego game, branded Lego game, that is out.
Oh wait, is the Steam sale like summer sale going right
Nope.
now?
It was it was between the 27th to the 31st, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I think the Steam Summer Sale is in like a week or two.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so now I own the games. And I'm finishing up the 9th one, so I have 8 more left.
Hey, over halfway.
Yeah,
Making good progress.
there's 23 in total, so that means I would have completed 15 up to this point.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. I mean,
More than halfway.
yeah, I'm 2/3 the way done. It's pretty exciting.
Very nice. Well, as Jesus, have great news. Bible 2 is releasing soon.
Really?
Yep.
Can I
Co-authored version.
You want to give any exclusive, scenes in it away? Are we going to see a trailer?
You know, a teaser trailer will be coming out soon. I can say that.
Oh, good.
There will be, Judas and Satan will have a slapping competition with the Russian Federation in the trailer.
Oh, good.
It's just going to be like a 2-second clip, but that is the B plot of the movie, really. And Judas and his redemption to get back to heaven, he has to compete in the Russian Federation slapping competitions.
Nice. Well, I'm very excited.
That's the B plot. I don't want to give away too
right,
much.
of course. I'm very excited to read the Bible too. Of other great books like Everybody Poops. Jesus. His first work with the Bible was just one of his greatest. But don't miss out on his other books like Everybody Poops. Everybody Poops even without an anus, and a few others that I can't remember off the top of my head. So yeah, I'm excited to read the new Bible 2 that'll be coming out when exactly?
That's the exciting part. It'll come out during the rapture.
Oh.
So, we can't since the rapture you can't predict it, I
Right.
can't give out a date. But
you feel like it's going to be soon?
Just know. Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha.
So the people that are left behind are going to have a nice little treat.
Gotcha. Just a quick question, Jesus. Why I have you here?
Yeah.
While I have you here.
Yeah.
Would I be raptured? Am I raptured worthy, or am I going to be stuck in the apocalypse, fighting against demons and Antichrist?
I'm pretty sure you would be,
Okay.
because when you were younger, you did believe in God,
Okay.
and you legitimately believed in it too.
Yeah.
So, there's the whole thing of names written in the book of life can't be taken out.
I obviously didn't have erasers up there.
No. It's kind of... Yeah, everything's in pen and ink, and it's just a pain.
I gotcha.
There's no, graphite or lead pencils.
Actually, Jesus, I have one more question before we bring Ethan
Yeah.
back on.
Yeah.
So, have you seen American Dad?
No, but I have seen Family
Okay,
Guy.
well, there's a certain episode in American Dad where the rapture happens, and it ends up everyone goes up, and Jesus comes back down, and he has to now start a war against the Antichrist. So it's really like a war between angels and demons. Is that real life? Is that what's going to happen? It's going to be like a apocalyptic war, which then will result in a better civilization afterwards if Jesus wins. Is that like what we're working
I
with here,
mean,
or?
Again, I haven't seen the show, but it's most likely a creative interpretation of events.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be like a big game of Yahtzee instead.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know, it's really just gonna be like Uno, Sorry, Yahtzee. You know, the works.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Okay. Well, I mean, Jesus, you're welcome to stick around. But you know, me and Ethan do have another podcast we need to record.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm thankful we could have this small little interview, promote Bible too. But you know, I got a tight schedule. I got people to smite.
Yeah.
So
I when you find Ethan, when you bring him back, just tell him the stuff about the Lego. He was really excited to hear that. So just let him know that, and then I think we'll be all good.
all right, sounds good.
Awesome. So while he switches out, everybody, I have a fun little thing that happened today. I watched RuPaul's Drag Race today. About half a season. Ethan, you there?
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
now.
okay.
You got all the Lego games now? Jesus told me you got all the
Yeah,
Lego games.
I did. I actually have them all. I have them all. I bought Incredibles.
Oh, nice.
The 2 Lego City games, which were in like a package for like $12, and then I bought Lego Jurassic World. So we're good now. I have all of them.
Great.
Yeah. And I was talking about something when you were on your way back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. I actually watched today half of season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race with Katie.
Ooh. What's that all about?
So
I've not seen that.
do you know what a drag queen is?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's like that, but there's 15 drag queens, and they're all competing to be the next superstar drag queen.
Oh, that's awesome.
And at first I was like, I think I went downstairs to get pain medicine for Katie, because she was hurt. I'm not gonna go into much detail other than that. And when I came back up with a Capri Sun and a few pills in my hand, which is always a party, I see that she put on RuPaul's Drag Race because it was on the Pride Month section of Hulu.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Screw it. We'll watch it. And I kid you not, Ethan, I'm hooked. It hooked me in. It hooked me in. Every episode's like 40 minutes. And we got to episode like 6. Or just finishing episode 6. I was hooked.
That's a dedication.
I was hooked.
Yeah, you're in it. You're in it deep now.
I was hooked. Oh my gosh. I was actually very impressed. Cuz I'm not like super into like the fashion show stuff. I think they're neat at sometimes, but I'm not like super into them. But
yeah, there's one show I used to watch where they had to like make like monster costumes and makeup and
Yeah.
stuff like that and prosthetics. That one was
I
cool.
like Forged in Fire.
That's
that
a
one's-
nice
that
one.
one's-
That is a cool one.
That one's always really fun to watch.
I feel like that touches into every guy's and gal's inner passion to be a medieval blacksmith.
Oh yeah. But with RuPaul's Drag Race, I found myself rooting for drama. Honestly, I was hooked. I was really honestly hooked. And one of the better parts of the series is that you can say it's trash TV. I mean, all shows like this are trash TV in a sense. Like I feel like Forged in the Fire is like not trash TV, but I feel like it's definitely getting close to that genre.
Right.
Just because that's kind of the formula.
It's just easy to consume.
Right.
You know, there's no critical thinking. You're just watching things.
But you don't
happen.
hit trash TV until the people inside of it start arguing and fighting. Oh my god.
That's when it gets
Oh
good.
my god. So all these drag queens, first off, gorgeous. Honest to God, I was impressed. They were putting together some outfits that I was like, damn. I saw much man ass today, and even I was like, you go girl, shit. Like I was really embracing it.
Yeah.
It was really interesting. And like they had certain challenges that they had to do, like the first episode they had to go in and they were already in drag when they showed up, and they had to go for a dive in this pit of water, while someone took photos of him, and that was like a
Oh.
mini challenge. The challenge of that
Yeah,
episode
okay.
ended up being just, make a good enough outfit for the end of the thing. But you had to get your materials from garbage. And it's just something like that where I was like, damn, that's really interesting. That's an interesting, neat idea. And then like other episodes, like, you get hooked into the personalities of these people. Like right now, I'm rooting for this girl named Coco. Or it's a guy, but his female personality is named Coco. And he
Right.
has this beef with another drag queen who's named Alyssa, who apparently 2 years ago they had beef in Miss Gay America.
2 years ago.
But the thing is, they didn't let you know the beef until 3 episodes in. And even now, I still don't know what the beef is.
The Grudge.
Oh my gosh. And now, in the episodes 5 and 6 that I've been watching, people have been pairing them up, just trying to rile them. Oh my god. It's like, get him! Get him! Get him! And like,
Just want to see it all fall apart.
yeah, and I can honestly tell that when I said, oh yeah, let's watch this, Katie was like super happy, because I'm sure that she was like, nah, he doesn't want to watch this. Dude.
Right, she probably like flipped it on real
Yeah.
quick while you were gone. It's like,
But I surprised her. At first I was like, okay, I'll watch it for you, right? Obviously, I'll do this for you. If you want to watch it, I'm down to watch it too. But then I got hooked. And even, like, I do this.
And I mean, it's because you're the most progressive man there is.
I told her that.
I
I
mean,
told her that.
how
I was
can-
like, name
Exactly.
any other man who'd do this for you. Exactly? Nobody. I didn't even let her answer. And I normally do this thing where I'm watching something and I don't really care for it. I'll just talk and try to make it
Yep.
funny for me. And I did do that a little bit here, but I didn't do it like a ton. Like, I just sit there and watch and absorb. Oh, one of the funniest things happened. So, in the 15 drag queens there are, one of them is a fan vote, where fans voted them in, like they got the most votes, so they're now on the show rather than having to go through the auditions that the other
Right.
people did. And this motherfucker got out first episode, gone. And I just
man.
thought it was so funny. I was like, this guy really got like, let's say like a 10,000 people to be like, he needs to be in this show, and then immediately gets out. It was hilarious to me.
Just bombed it.
Yeah, exactly. And they have this thing where when you're about to be eliminated, you get 2 people that are at the bottom too. And what they don't just eliminate them. They make them lip sync a song. And whoever impresses RuPaul the most stays and the other one leaves. When I tell you that the fan favorite was just dancing around and didn't know the words, which means that she would then turn her back to RuPaul, because that was like a trick apparently. So if you like turn your back to the stage or turn your back to the audience, you can kind of like mask the fact you don't know the lyrics. I kid you not.
Mm-hmm.
She did that for like half the song, just kind of wiggling her hips, right? And this
Right.
is in a drag outfit that they made from garbage, that they're bringing on stage. They always have to do this in the outfit that they present themselves in.
Right.
Well, the other person that was against them, oh my god, they never looked away once. Motherfucker did splits and demolished,
Oh.
absolutely destroyed.
Sauced on him.
Yeah. Honestly, it was really interesting, and I want to finish the season. Like
Are there more seasons?
there's 5 seasons, but I'm only on episode 6 of 14 for season
Oh.
5.
Oh.
So
Okay,
it's getting
okay.
pretty interesting. Also, like, the names are really dumb of some of the people. Oh, the fan favorite, her
Like,
name
What's
was
the worst one?
Penetration.
Oh, no.
There's another one that his name's just Detox.
What? That's not even like clever.
Yeah, I know. And there's one that's just Alaska, but he's from Pittsburgh.
But that. There's no joke.
Yeah. I know.
You know what? At least penetration was like, it's a play on words.
Yeah.
All those other ones are just.
Other
bad.
ones are just names like Coco Mondreas or something.
Yeah, if you can't do something funny, just go with a regular
Right.
one.
Right.
Cut your losses.
So, that's what my day's been. And tomorrow is my last day of school. So,
Same. Same. Actually, today was supposed to be my last day of school, and then they rescheduled graduation to Friday. So now I have one more day. But it's all good because I'm gonna go into my English class. I'm gonna play the Bloodborne tabletop game with my English teacher.
Nice.
Yeah. It's gonna be sick.
Nice. Oh, speaking of which, this is one of the things we talked about last episode. While talking about you going to the bonfire.
Oh.
Thought I might as well bring it up. I focused on a lot of that last episode.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ethan didn't end up showing up. He had something to do. He was busy.
I wasn't able to go because I had to celebrate my brother's birthday.
Right. And
which is all good.
It's all understandable. I'm not really bothered by it. It happens, right? Whatever. Just invited him to one-time thing.
With hatred
but it's all right, I guess. I suppose it's all right that he didn't show up. I guess he won't be ever invited again, but we'll just have to see.
It happens.
No, it was really fun. There was supposed to be a few people who showed up, and by a few people, I mean, like, in total, there was supposed to be, like, 12, 13 people. And we only ended up with, like, 6 that day. So it ended up being much smaller. And the bonfire didn't actually happen, like the bonfire section of it, because it was raining. But it was super fun. It was very fun. And while we were doing, like, Jackbox, me and one of my side of friends, somehow linked brains and then made a Quiplash answer, made like 2 Quiplash answers based off of our third friend, or second friend, I guess. And absolutely demolished him at the same time.
I'm so good at Quiplash. I love that
I wouldn't
game.
know.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm only going to hold it as a grudge for years to come, but...
Yeah, understandably so. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. It's a punishment I deserve, and if you let go too soon, I'll exact my revenge and see it, because I'll see it as like a moment of vulnerability and weakness on your part.
Yeah.
So I expect that grudge to be hearty and long-living.
Good. Well, I think I've talked enough about my stuff so far, so Ethan, please take it away.
Today, okay, at track, the weirdest, I just heard this dude explain the weirdest thing to me, and it, like, still blows my mind. So we were talking about just, like, graduation or whatever, and what our plans were, and I was talking about, like, a senior graduation party or whatever, and this man, like, starts talking about how he's excited that graduation got pushed back. He's a junior, by the way, so he can go to a graduation party.
Right.
Like, he can make it after work, and, like, I'm like, oh, okay, like, hang out with friends, it's all good. But then he starts going on this huge tangent about, like, how much he drinks and, like, smokes weed and stuff like that.
Oh, you're gonna love those people.
And then it's like, yeah, like, it's like, wow, okay, you smoke pot, congrats, But then it takes another turn that, like, he starts explaining how he has to, like, get home before his parents because he doesn't want them to, like, be like, where were you all night? Why are you showing up at 1 a.m.?
Right.
And how do you think how he does this?
He drugs them.
Pretty close. He installed Life 360 on their phones. He tracks them.
I mean, that's pretty smart.
That's crazy, though, dude. You have to admit, that's, like,
it is.
It's already crazy for parents to be, like, so distrustful and paranoid about their own kids that they gotta get Life 360 and literally track their every move. And if you're already doing that, then your kid's probably just gonna, like, rebel even more.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it's the kid that's tracking his parents, and they don't know. Like, what? Like, what would he... just cut your losses, dude. Like, just...
Yeah.
Is it worth... I just don't understand. Why would you... Like, going through all that effort? It's just crazy to me. And it's just so he can, like, get home before them and pass out on a couch. And then they won't question it. It's like, what? I don't know,
man. I know a few people are like that. Maybe not, tell me those kind of stories, but I definitely know people that are a bit too open about their alcoholic and weed stuff. I'm not really against it. I've
Yeah, I don't care. It's like,
yeah,
you do you, I'm doing me.
but or it's just you know sometimes it's just like
But
their
also-
personality. It's just like ugh. Okay, I got it. You smoke weed and drink alcohol. I gotcha.
Yeah. I knew a guy that was like super for weed
Mm.
and like not even like legalization, just like trying to make sense of why he smoked it all the
Right.
time. And it's like I agree with like medical use,
Yeah.
you know, and even recreational to some degree. Like if it's, you gotta be like 21 or something, that makes sense. And if you have a license, well, not like I'm not gonna, but like he would just like go on and on about why he smokes and like, oh, it helps with my headaches and my back pains and none of my other medication works, and and then he's like explaining how he like actually buys it in his drug dealer and like how much it costs, and it's like, okay, like why? I don't need to know the economic situation in Maryland right now for your weed deals. Just say you think it should be legalized and move on, man.
Yeah. People are weirdly descriptive. I don't know, for something that's still like partially illegal.
Yeah, they're just really open with it.
They're like, yeah, I smoked weed yesterday at my house. I got it from Joe Bobby Joe. He gave me 5 pints of weed, and I just smoked it right there, right in the old pipe. And I shared it a little bit with him. It was, I believe it was Orange Crush Dank, and I just really inhaled it all. You want some? I can tell you where the dealer is. I'm like, bro,
Yeah, honestly, it's like, oh, okay.
bro, this is the meat section of Giant. Please back up.
This is the deli.
Bro, I am
aisle.
ordering a
Please order
steamed
a
ham.
turkey
Can you
sandwich.
please back up?
Please just order your turkey, your rotisserie chicken, and move on.
Oh my god, speaking of wonderful customers. Oh my gosh. So,
Oh yeah.
because of the, the lovely disease that we're all working with as of currently, COVID-19, one thing that is happening now is that masks are kind of on the decline because people with vaccines in a lot of states are no longer required to wear masks outside. Still inside, but people heard outside and was like, okay, I never have to wear masks again. Oh, that sounds good to me. So, that's what I have to deal with as someone who works at a counter, dealing with people directly. And I kid you not, a few days ago, I'm normally the guy that's like, oh, I'm sorry, it's store policy. Can you please put on a mask? Or do you have a mask, sir, or whatever? So I'm the one that does it. No other counter person does it because they don't have the balls that I do.
The gall.
I am the person that denies everyone else the little things. Like, oh, you want extra sauce, but you already paid? That's going to be $2.50. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it's going to be. Deadass, a woman paid and then asked for 5 extra sauces afterwards. And I stood my ground. I was like, ma'am, that's going to be an extra $2.50. And she hit me with, oh, my wallet's in my car. And I told her outright, I was like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to get that. I can't give you the sauces for free. And it's situations like that where I'm at the position I am now because I do stuff like that. So
That's it's both so powerful, but if like I walked in and that happened to me, I'd be like, man, this guy is power tripping right now.
but at the same time, she already paid and she's just trying to scam us out of $2.50 of
But would
sauces.
you have given her the extra sauce if she had asked before paying?
I would have. And I probably only would charge her like 2.
Oh, okay, so you still would have charged her. Oh,
But
that's different. That's different. I thought if she had asked before, you would have just given it for free. That's when I would have been like, well.
yeah, I probably wouldn't have charged her for so many then. But she actually has she's known to do this. Like she'll ask for like 9 sauces afterwards, which comes up to being like $4.50. And that's a lot of money for sauces. I mean, if you think about it, that's
That
$5
is.
for that amount of sauces. and I'm just giving it away for free. That's a fry. That's little. I'm giving away for a fry for free, and I don't have that power. So, I always try to stand my ground with customers that just try to take advantage, or especially people that are like, "Oh yeah, I know the boss." And I'm like, "Really? What's her name?" And then they just look at me blankly, and they're like, "Oh, it's John Luca." No, I said, "No. Who's my boss's name?" Sorry. My female boss? What's her name? Because she's the one who works here. I don't really have to hit anybody with that, but there have been people where I've had to hit somebody with that once.
That's terrible.
Okay.
People are always just trying to get free stuff, man.
But back to the original reason I'm bringing this up. So a few days ago, it was Tuesday. So yesterday. It was literally yesterday. Somebody came in and I said, "Oh, hey, do you happen to have a mask? Do you have a mask or whatever?" And he said, "No, I don't." And he pulled a shirt over his face. And at that point, you just kind of give up because there's no winning there. You can just be like, "Okay, you don't have a mask. That's okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're on the decline anyways. You can just pull your shirt down. We'll be fine." He didn't. I don't know why. And when I was giving him his food, he looked at me and was like, Why are you guys making us wear masks?" And I was like, "Sir, well, it's just the store policy. Frankly, it's just what we've done for a while now." And he's like, "Have you guys looked at the stats? There's plenty of places around here that don't make you wear masks. I'm never gonna order here again." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's just store policy." And he's just like, "It's dumb." And I'm like, "It's store policy." And then he walked out with his food. But the thing is, I would have never told you the story if he didn't look like the singer from Nickelback.
What?
He looked like the main singer of the band Nickelback. Kid you not, my man was about to look at me and say, "Look at this photograph."
Oh my gosh.
And so his face and everything about him stuck out to me because he really told me to look at the stats.
Dude, I hate. Oh my goodness.
And there was like,
all right, I got some mask stories of my own as well from Kilby's. My wonderful little ice cream job.
lay it on me.
All right, so one of them was a small one. This woman came in and she wasn't wearing a mask. And we no longer require them for customers or whatever, just because it's been lifted. But back then we still did.
Right.
And so I was like, "Oh, ma'am, like, you need a mask to be in here, like, in the store." And, like, almost immediately she's like, "I have a breathing problem. I can't wear masks. Like, she just, like, jumped in before I could even finish it. I was so taken aback by that I just didn't say anything. Because, like, most people will just, like, lift their shirt up over their face or something if they don't have one, and they'll, like, whip it out of their back pocket. Some people even, like, go back to their cars and pull one out. Or, like, if we don't have one, or if they don't have one, we'll pull one for them from the back and give it to them. Right? And, like, occasionally I think some people, like, once or twice have just left outright. But this just took me so aback. Because my first thought was, why are you out then? Like, why? You are the reason we're wearing masks. You are most vulnerable.
I can tell you right now.
So, I mean, absolutely she was lying. Without a doubt.
Because there is no illness in the world that makes it so that you can't breathe in a mask. Because...
Yeah, because people have even shown that masks don't actually hinder your breathing, like the amount of oxygen you're getting.
Right, that's the whole point of a mask and how they work. There's holes at the top and the bottom, slightly enough so that you can breathe through them. But the thing is, the air molecules, or the molecules that make up an air, are much smaller than the disease particles that we are being faced with. That's what people don't realize. And then they hit us with, "Yeah, but when you fart, it goes through pants." It's like... Yeah, the thing is, when you fart, it brings out tiny little itty-bitty molecules. And so the stench and the smell can go through it easily because it is simply going through the tiny little threads of the pants. A disease or a virus can't do that because it is much, much, much larger. And for some reason, everyone thinks they're a scientist.
Yeah, but I was just like so dumbstruck by that answer and just the thoughts that were running through my head that I just staggered out saying, all right.
You should hit her with oh, what do you have? What's the disease?
I should have. I just don't care. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm non-confrontational. It's just, I don't care enough to get confrontational. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of it. It's just like, this is not worth my time and energy to get into. She was just going into the bathroom too with her kids, so she wasn't even like around customers, and then she was just out like right after. I was like, whatever, I don't care. Just get out of my store.
I get the biggest hard on when I deny people. Honest to God, I love confronting people about the stupid shit because they're idiots and they either think they can get away with it without being told by anyone, because most of the time they don't. Like, no one tells them. And I'm not saying that you're part of the problem, Ethan. That's not it. I understand.
No, I have confronted people when they try and get away with stuff.
Right, and I completely understand when times you don't want to, because they're just sometimes not worth dealing with. 100% I get. But I love confronting people because they think they're so smart and they think they're so awesome that they can just sneak through anything and not get, not follow the little tiny rules that we have set. It's like, bro, put a mask on. Bro, pay $3 for sauces. Don't just order them afterwards because you know you won't have to pay.
Right.
So I put my foot down.
Yeah, no, I've done that. I've done that plenty of times. There's this one dude that wanted a milkshake, and he was like, make it really thin. Now, most people ask for it to be thick, it's just the ice cream flavor they pick and some milk. So if they want it thick, you just add less milk. But he wanted it thin, and that's the first time I've asked for someone to make it very thin. And so I just got like a single scoop of ice cream, probably like the third of amount that I'd usually get. And just the rest was milk. And I made the milkshake and I gave it to him, right? Exactly what he wanted. He then gets upset and he's like, this doesn't taste like vanilla at all. This doesn't taste like vanilla. Like, I wanted a vanilla milkshake. And I was like, yeah, I made one for you. It's like, it doesn't taste like it. Can you add more flavoring? Can you add more flavoring to this? Make it taste more like vanilla? And I was like, what? Like, no, that's not how it works. I don't just pour vanilla extract into milk. Like, it's ice cream. That's not how it works. He was like, I want it to taste like vanilla. And then he, like, looks over the counter back into the, like, back room of the kitchen at my boss, my manager, and he starts asking her. And she's like, man, what are you on, dude? Like, no. That's not how it works. You're not getting more vanilla ice cream in your milkshake.
Should have just thrown a scoop of vanilla at him and be like, there you go. Get that.
But there's other stuff, too. Like, we used to make our own milk and sell it. We still make it to make an ice cream, but we just don't sell it anymore. We have Maplehoff as our provider now.
Right.
And so Kilby's used to have Kilby-branded glass bottles. And so we had a bottle deposit. If you bought a glass bottle with your milk, it cost an extra $2. If you brought the bottle back, you got the $2 back. But since we switched providers, the providers had their own branded bottles. So we weren't accepting Kilby's branded bottles anymore, right? People were losing their minds over this. Just absolutely going bonkers. The worst of it, I wasn't hired yet. But it got so bad that they had to put up a sign in the store that said they wouldn't allow verbal abuse of the employees. That, like, people were, like, yelling at the at the scoopers and, like, calling them trash and stuff.
Yeah, you gotta love people that are like that, where they are so childish that they just throw their anger at anyone that they see.
I know, it's like, it's $2, man. Get off your high horse and get your head out of your
even
ass.
like I don't make the food. I don't make the food at my place. I really just do I do the orders. I take the orders and I relay them back to the chefs. And then I bring them out, or I will,
right,
trade
exactly.
them.
It's like, I don't own Kilby Creams. Like, I don't own the plants. I'm not making these decisions. I make minimum wage.
Right. You don't understand how many times I've been not necessarily harassed, because I don't let myself get harassed. I just kind of I don't fight back, but I employee back. Is like what I like to call it, where I'm super polite about it. But there's definitely some, like, undertones, right?
Yep, I do the same thing.
And, like, there's so many times where, like, they're like, this isn't right about the food. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, that's how we make it. And it was like, I ordered, there was one time that it was a dine-in, it was before COVID even started. He wanted an Italian hoagie. And, I asked the questions I'm supposed to, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo, oil on that. He said, all of that, and I put it in his system. And when it was made and brought out, which honestly didn't take very long, because Italian hoagies don't take very long at all, it's more just putting them together. I brought it out, let him eat it, and I waited about 5-7 minutes to walk back out there again, because I don't want to stand there while I'm watching him eat. So I go back out there, and he's like, I thought this thing would have more meat on it. And I'm like, oh, you must be thinking of the Italian special hoagie, which has like 2 or 3 more meats more. Right? And he was like, no. I ordered the Italian hoagie. I thought there'd be more meats on it. I'm like, right, sir, but you're thinking of the Italian special hoagie because the meats that are on there are correct. There's only that amount of meats. And so he ended up throwing the other half of his Italian hoagie away.
What? Why?
He thought there'd be more meats.
That is so childish. Bro, why would you throw away good food just because there's not whatever.
Yeah, trust me, I've dealt with quite a lot of the goofballs in my day.
My undertone is with the glass bottles. Anytime people are like, "Oh, well, you were accepting them, before. Why aren't you accepting them anymore?" It's just like, you just explain the situation. Oh, back in April, we switched providers and we don't accept ours anymore, but we still accept the other ones. And like, all the other workers will be like, "Oh, this happened, the change happened. I'm so sorry, we can't accept it anymore." But I'm like, here's how it is. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't apologize for something that's out of my control and something they didn't know. It's like, but how is that my job for you to know?
Yeah.
I'm telling you now. I'm helping you here. I'm helping you by telling you this.
So in my job, I'm the only male counter person right now. I think we.
So am I.
Right.
I don't, because of that, I don't get like anywhere near as much shit as the girls do. Because people are just afraid to talk down to a guy.
Well, that, and it's kind of the other way around. Like, a lot of the counter kids that I work with, don't wanna say the things that I say.
Also true.
Because one of the things that differs from me and the other counter kids is that I'm kind of not necessarily the boss of the counter kids, but I am at a point where it's like I'm almost like managing them as well, because I have to like kind of push them into places they need to be, or like, you need to go and clean the bathrooms, you need to go sweep the dining room, you need to roll utensils, right? While I'm dealing with deliveries, which is very stressful, especially on a busy night where you have like 12 deliveries that all need to go out soon, but you have none of the drivers, so you have to plan out the perfect route so you can get a good amount in each one, and only drivers can take up 4 to 5 deliveries at a time. Plus having to deal with all of the customers that come in at a time, plus having to deal with any mistakes that the other counter kids do on the phone, plus being their like dad presence, so that if there's ever anything I need to work out, I can work with them directly before it has to go to the boss. And this is one of the things that a lot of the kids need to be ready for, especially because I'm going to be leaving soon. Because when I go to college, I'm not going to be able to work this job. I need a better paying job. And I already talked that out with my boss, and she was like, "Oh, that's understandable." And I get that. So now I have to like almost start looking for a successor, right? And
an heir to the throne, to the mantle of responsibility.
The thing is, the person before me who had my job before me, the answer was pretty clear. That's what my boss told me. She was like, "Yeah, no, after if she's leaving, the choice was pretty clear that you would be the next up, like you'd be the next guy." And I was like, yeah, that's understandable. I always put my best foot forward. I'm always making sure I do everything. I always check everything because I'm anxious that I don't want anything to go wrong. So it all makes sense. And, I take that job. But now, there isn't really a clear choice. Not that anyone is, bad. No one's bad at their job. Some are better than others.
No one's excelling.
No
one's excelling.
Right. But it's often I that I have to tell them to go and do something. That's not just taking calls. Because if they're not taking calls, they're either talking or on their phone. So I have to hit them with, oh, hey, it's not phone time, it's work time. Or, hey, you need to go stock those shelves. I'm in the middle of something. I would go do that. But I need you to do it. Right? And I'll be honest, sometimes I come off as rude, and it's never what I mean to be. Right? I always apologize afterwards because I feel bad, because I don't want to be rude. But they always anger me because they never actually do their job without me having to tell them. So when they're just standing there doing nothing, I really want to yell at them and be like, go do your fucking job. What are you doing? So it's that, but also the fact that I'm like almost, when it comes to angry customers, the boss says always to go to her first. Well, that doesn't always work, especially on a Friday night where it's bustling and busy. So the next person they'd go to is me, because they're all female, and they know that I don't take shit. I don't take shit like that.
Right. You're like everyone's big brother.
Right. I'm not gonna be rude to the customer, but I'm definitely gonna just say it as it is. I'm gonna take the information. I'm gonna be honest. If it needs to go another step beyond, I will tell my boss. And I work directly next to my boss. She's always works next to me, so it's never hard to get her to notice me when I need her. So, I mean, just taking that in mind and then keeping in mind everything else, it's like, it's kind of hard for me to pick an heir to the throne, because I'm the only one who does that. I'm the only person that does that right now. I forget where I started this conversation, but I ended up there, so.
Yeah.
But I love them all. They're all great people. They're just not always the greatest at their job, and it annoys me because it's like, guys, just like, it's...
You just want to see them do
right,
better.
it's... Yeah, I want...
You're not angry, you're disappointed.
I want them to succeed. I want them to succeed. And I don't want them just standing around. I want them to do what I do. I want to be humble. I don't want to be like, I'm the greatest person ever, but I am literally the best counter person there. And I say that and wear it on my sleeve because no one stands close to me. And even the kids there are like, yeah, you're the best. And I'm like, yes, I know. I'm aware I'm the best. You could do better.
This isn't about me. This is about you.
I don't let them give me shit either. I'm like, I even told them, they were like, one time, it was a few dine-ins, right? And one of the girls was like, I don't want to go out there and roll silverware. I don't want them to look at me. I don't want them to look at me. And I straight up told her, it was a Friday night, and I'm sweating my ass off trying to like get all the deliveries and moving back and forth. And I was doing a credit card at the time. And she tells me that. And I look at her dead in the eyes and I say, I don't care. Do your job. Get in there and roll silverware.
Yes.
They don't give a shit what you're doing, and you shouldn't give a shit what they're doing. So go do your job. And she went and did it, and I was like, look, I'm sorry I had to do that to you. And she was like, no, you're right. So I went and did it. And I was like, okay, good. But I didn't mean to be rude. I didn't mean to be mean. And she was like, no, I understand.
Right.
So.
You put your foot down, though.
Yeah.
You set the law.
Yeah.
A good man for it.
I really do sometimes teeter on that line of either being rude and bossy. Like, I can either be, a boss or being like, okay, look, you need to do this. But then I also teeter on the line of being rude because of how I am bossy and, how I tell people what to do. It can sometimes, to some people, come off as rude simply because I don't necessarily always say please. I always say thank you, but I never say please because please is just never something that's been in my vocabulary. If I say it nice enough, it always works out. It's a weird thing. And I always feel bad afterwards.
No, I get that. Sometimes I forget to say please. Like, I'll still ask nicely, but then, like, last second I'm like, oh, please.
Yeah.
Like, I have to, like, force it out like I just remembered. But it's like, I'm still asking nicely. I'm not trying to be a dick about it.
The worst, oh my god, the worst is when it's a busy night. I'm doing, like, a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm sitting there dealing with, like, 3 or 4 customers, and I see the girls aren't doing anything. There's one time I actually freaked out and yelled at one of them mid customers, and I was like, okay, shouldn't have done that. Back up a few steps. But then again, she was literally standing there doing jack shit, and I was like, okay, that crossed the line. It's been a Friday, and that was it. But recently, what happened was there was 2 customers up front, and I was dealing with one, and she wanted to get a cheesecake, right, with her order, and I looked over and I said, I think I said, can you get a cheesesteak? Not cheesesteak, a cheesecake. It might have came out as get a cheesecake, right? And no context, it sounds rude. No context, it sounds rude. But in the context, she was standing next to me, listening to the order, and I hit her with, can you get a cheesecake? Didn't say please. And I think I was a little rushed. So I understand how it came off as rude. But at the same time, she understand that it wasn't rude, and that she needed to get cheesecake. My boss hears me, and gets mad at me. Because I sound rude. And at first I think she's joking, because the big thing is that we're all jokers. We all joke around. She's always like, Brian, stop yelling. But I'm not yelling. I'll like say it in the most soft voice I can. She'll be like, Brian, stop yelling. Just because it's funny. And it's honest jokes. It's not like I'm, misinterpreting. So at first I thought it was, she was joking. And then I realized she wasn't. And that moment I felt bad because I was like, damn, was I really that rude? Was I really that mean? And then I apologized to the girl I did that to, and she was like, yeah, I didn't think you were really that rude. And I looked at her, I was like, well, that's good to know. Well, at least I didn't offend you. And then my boss, my boss wasn't mad at me for very long, and she ended up hugging me afterward, like after the night happened, because I think we both were like, okay, maybe it was a bit too far for both of us. But then I was basically silent for the rest of the night, because it was just like, it was like the end of the night too. It was like 6:30, 7, we closed at 9. So it was just at that point I was just like, okay, I'll just be super polite. I'll just do everything that's away from everybody, so that I don't get mad or like get, tear up a little bit, because I fucking hate getting yelled at. Oh my god, I hate getting yelled at.
Ah, dude, I'd like crumble when I get yelled at. I know exactly what you mean. It's not even like I'm like losing my train of thought. It just like
triggers something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I don't know, because I'm not used to being yelled at.
Right. When a customer does it, I don't give a shit. But when it's something that I care about.
When someone either you care about or someone coming from a place of authority does it, that's when it's like,
right. Especially when you don't think you've actually done anything wrong. When you realize, like, when you don't think you've done anything wrong, and she starts yelling at you, like, then you start like rethinking everything you just did, and you hit him with like, oh, was I really that rude? And then you start overthinking the situation, and then you just crumble.
Yep.
Obviously, then I walked away and filled up napkins away from everybody. And the funniest thing was, in that moment while I was gone, there was 3 counter kids up front while I was in the dining room. And one of the things I have to do is give drivers tips. So when they come back, they give me a card. I read the tip that's on it, add $2 to it, and I give it to them. Or when it's a cash delivery, and the customer's gonna give us cash, I have to give them like the next 20. So if it's like a $56 order, I have to give them $60 for tip. It's like a whole thing. Or I have to give them up to $60. So if it's $56, I'll give them $4 to go up to 60, so they have change. Yeah, I leave for a good 5 minutes, and it takes 3 of them to do that once. And that's when it really, that's when it hit me that night. I was like, damn, this is, again, why I'm necessary. And then it made me feel great, because I'm like, damn, I really am super necessary here, because if I'm not, then these fucking kids aren't going to be able to do my job as efficiently. And then one last note before I sweep this under the rug.
Yeah, because I got a story of my own that kind of connects to this.
One of the kids who's really not that great at calls, but she's super fun to talk to. She's one of my favorite counter kids there, right? but she's not that great at calls. And as someone who's not that great at calls as well, like I definitely have my mistakes on taking calls and stuff. But we got to a point where, it's good enough to be where I am now. She's tried to do deliveries, which is, what I do, while I was gone one of the days. And she was telling me directly that, she ended up breaking down that night afterwards, which is understandable. I get it. It's definitely on a stressful night. I understand. And she told my boss that Brian makes it look so easy. And I laughed my ass off. I was like, do I really make it look that easy?
Oh, that's so sweet, though.
And I'm sat there like, do I really? Like, I'm sweating my ass off, like, running back and forth. I look stressed as hell. But I guess I make it look easy. And now it's your turn.
Yeah, that's easy. That's making it look easy.
Yeah. It's your turn to talk, Ethan.
Yep, okay. So, when you mentioned that you thought your boss was joking at first, this reminds me. Now, the majority of my coworkers, your coworkers sound like a fun blast, like people you can hang out
100%.
with after work.
They are.
My people are not like that, sadly.
Oh.
Maybe one or two of them, but it always feels like we're not quite at that point yet. You know what I mean?
Like just a few steps away, but not quite.
Yeah. But so most of them I'm chill with, I'd say.
Right.
Then the others I tolerate at best.
I understand that.
And there's one of them. All right, who comes from a very, very conservative Christian household.
Oh, I thought he'd be right up your alley.
Is also no, I'm different. But she's also homeschooled.
Oh, you
Brian.
gotta hate people like that.
She's got the trifecta.
Oh my god.
The trifecta.
If you're homeschooled, you should just be put down. I'm sorry.
No, one of my best friends and my cousin are homeschooled. They're great.
I wasn't
people.
homeschooled. What the hell? What do you mean? What do you mean?
I have.
Damn, Ethan.
Like
I see how it is.
3
I leave
best
for
friends.
4 years, and this is what I get. Damn.
My best girl.
You have a girlfriend now?
There.
Damn.
No.
I leave
No.
for 4 years, and this is how you
I
treat your
don't.
favorite queen? Unbelievable.
You're always slaying, queen.
Okay, I forgive you. Fine, I forgive you.
So yeah, she's got the triple whammy. All right.
Oh, that's fun.
And so some of the things that she says is just so outlandish. She said she doesn't believe we should be getting tips, like, whatsoever.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Get this. It's because her mom used to, like, wait her or whatever. And she's like, yeah, my mom, like, when we're out at, like, a restaurant, she's calculating, like, how much these people are, like, how long they're working and what their minimum wage is and how much they're going to be making at the end of the night. She knows that they don't need the tips at all. And it's like, what?
Yeah, we make below minimum wage. Waiters
I know,
make
exactly.
below minimum wage because due to certain laws, you don't have to pay them that much because of tips.
I know, it's insane.
At least that's what I heard.
It's borderline theft.
Yeah,
Basically
tips are
But
necessary.
yeah, and so she says that, and I'm like, I'm just like, what? Like, I don't say anything, but she's like, yeah, but, I won't complain when I get them, and I'm like, well, there it is, like, you don't, like, you either, it's just like hypocrite, you're either a hypocrite, or you're just spouting what your mom says, and you're not, like, actually believing it when you say it
Well, that's
again.
what a lot of homeschooled kids are. They're just...
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt.
And that's why people would homeschool. It's because they don't want their kid to be taught a non-biased or sometimes a slightly biased education. It's simply because they can't accept the fact that the truth is the truth, and they wanna shade it all with a lie. Not saying that saying your friend from homeschool was like that, but that's a lot of the time what homeschool is.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the parent putting their own personal opinions into the kid, and it's not even that. It's just the kid has no, like, experience with other opinions. Like, they're not being introduced to different people regularly.
Right.
I'd say, like, a large group of people that have varying opinions and walks of life, to really build up their own sense of perspective on things. It's just their parents. and you just kind of accept that.
And you gotta think, who has the
Like,
time for homeschool? Like,
Yeah, I
in
know.
most relationships,
Rich people,
yeah,
mostly rich people. I wouldn't say all.
yeah, in most relationships, both parents are working, and there are obviously not situations where there's a stay-at-home dad or a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home they, whoever it is,
Right.
but um,
I'd say
that's only
it's the
so
it's the
rare,
rich homeschool kids that turn out wrong.
right? Because then they feel
It's
privileged.
once, yeah, like if it's like, oh, I have two working parents and they still put in the time for my education, like you turn out fine
Yeah, I mean,
because
at
they're
that
just
point,
like, it's just teaching you.
I feel like at that point, it's almost like a fault on the parents. You just like let them go to the education system that's already kind of there. You don't have to pay for, right? You have to pay taxes for it anyways.
Right.
If you don't have time for your kid to learn, or that much time for your kid to learn, then send them to the school that works.
Yeah, it's
I
just-
just, I,
Well, no, I'm like, like rich homeschool kids are the ones that turn out wrong. That are like weird.
I just don't. I guess I don't
guess.
100% understand why people would homeschool. I feel like homeschools, like I get it at
I
a
don't
certain
know.
point,
It's just how it is.
but I just don't
sometimes.
understand it.
So anyway, so that's like already setting the bar of like how strange she thinks. But all right, so then this one woman came in wearing a mask, and it was like one of those mesh ones that are like literally do nothing.
Oh,
You know,
I mean, that's worse than
it's
not
even
wearing
worse.
a mask.
It's even worse. Yeah, it is, but it's even worse because it was like studded, and so it like reflected light. So you had to be like a foot away from them to realize it was mesh. Otherwise, all the light's shining back at you and you can't tell. Like it is designed to deceive.
Well,
Right?
at least the engineers
so,
that whipped that together are
that-
smart.
Yeah, I mean they're probably making bank. But at that point I'm like, you know what? My manager doesn't care. Like as long as they have even their shirt over their mouth is good enough. You know?
Right.
My boss is the same way. I'm not going to put up a fuss. There's no point for me to put up a fuss if my manager and boss aren't going to. You know? That's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to waste my energy for being confrontational on this. Anywhere else, like if they actually cared about regulations, I would have put my foot down and be like, that's not going to work. So anyway, I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm just like, this is the stupidest mask I've ever seen. My coworker, this girl, starts chatting up this lady, and she's like, oh my gosh, I love your mask. Where did you get it? Oh, you got it from Amazon? How much? Oh, $15? Oh, I might have to look at like who manufactured it. Wow, I'm gonna look into one and getting one because I just hate wearing masks. This is all so silly, you know. And the woman leaves, and I just turned to her. I just asked straight up. I was like, do you honestly like that mask? I just asked her straight up. And she just starts going on a huge tangent. She's like, yeah, of course I did. You know, I think I got COVID once, and so it wasn't that big of a deal. And I don't see why I have to wear keeping masks, and you know, nobody else should have. It's infringing our rights. And I hear that. I hear the rights. Immediately pops into my head, and I just say it out loud. I say, 3 unalienable rights. One of them's life. I think the people that could die from it have a right not to die. She doesn't even try to like talk about that. Immediately pivots to, well, let's look at the data.
I got.
Just one of those.
You gotta
people,
love the
Brian.
people that try
Let's
to
look at the data.
the data, and then they pull up fucking like,
oh,
they pull up the
You know-
shadiest website.
that's the
It's like,
thing.
bro, go to the CDC directly.
Yeah, that's the thing. She does that so much where she just gets so argumentative to the, and not even like, oh, we're having a discussion and of differing beliefs, and here's what I think, and maybe we can come to some middle ground, or at least we can understand each other better. No, it's just, you have a differing one? I'm gonna sit here and explain why I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm not gonna budge 1 inch. And so as soon as she said that and she tried to start talking about data, I told her, I was like, I'm not going to keep talking about this. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
At that point, you kind of know you've already won because it's just like they put up this wall of, nope, you're wrong. You're nitpicking and biased.
exactly.
I win. Bye-bye. And that's all it is.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was like, bro, you've already pivoted away from, like, I just wanted to, I just pointed out the rights thing. Like, that's just, what specifically rights were that being infringed? She didn't say. She just pivoted entirely and avoided the conversation. And it's like, all right, you're not here to actually say your opinion. You're just here to spout what your parents have told you. So there was that. Then, later, all right, had this super busy night with her. Just like absolutely slammed, okay? We were making like milkshakes take a long time to make. We hate when people order them, but we won't say anything. And we only have a set number of milkshake cups, like metal cups that we actually make them in and then pour it into a plastic cup. And you have to wash them every so often. But we were just making so many that we ran out of clean ones. And we just couldn't make milkshakes for like a minute or two because we had to like start washing them. And so, because we were making so many milkshakes, the milk that is usually in the back refrigerator that takes almost like a minute or two to pull out and pour, I was just, leaving it on the counter. Admittedly, I should be putting it back. I will admit to that. But it's also, we are so busy that I am just forgetting.
Right.
And just trying to finish out orders. And once I finish the orders, then I put it back. But it's just like, and even then, not putting it back isn't the worst thing, because it's not like the milk's gonna curdle in the 5 minutes it takes me to put it away. And we're still using it. Like, it's still being used even if it's sitting out.
Right.
But every time, she just keeps, hey, remember, you gotta put away the milk. Don't forget about the milk. You gotta put it away. Can't leave the milk out like that. You gotta put it away. Like, over and over, and it's like, I understand, man. Like, just accept we're busy. You don't, like, just chill,
Yeah, and that
like, I'll get
that's
to
one
it,
of the reasons
but
why I
then
yell at somebody, because it's just like, either do your job and do it right, or and get off my dick. To get off my dick. Like, obviously we're busy. I don't need this shit. So I understand that.
I know. So, whatever. I'm just like, again, at this point, I'm still in that mode where, like, whatever, we're busy. I'm just going to get through it. It's not worth my time and energy. I got to put it towards working right now. All right. So so we finally get through all that. The whole shift of like 4 or 5 hours is just slammed the entire way through. I also worked like 4 hours at my other job prior that day. So I was like, I don't know, close to 9 or 10 hours of work that day by the end. So I'm just like dog tired, right? And so we're closing up. And on the closing list, we have a list of jobs that need to be done when we close. And there's a set that you're supposed to do like 15 minutes before closing if you have time. And it's like restocking cups and, milkshake cups, freezer bags, straws, spoons, scraping down ice cream and putting it into a new tub, like a full one, checking old milk, throwing it out if it needs to be, restocking the milk. Just like the very basic restocking stuff, right? Or like restocking cones. And so, because it's supposed to be done 15 minutes, it's also supposed to be just done first.
Right.
Even if you're after closing, like if you're so busy and you close and then you just do it first. And so I start restocking, and she immediately jumps to dishes. And now dishes on a night like that takes easy 20 minutes to do. It just takes forever because there's so many dishes to clean, there's so much to get through. And so in doing that, that would just front all the other preliminary stuff onto me, just like slam my workload.
Right.
And so now I'm finally starting to switch over into like, okay, something needs to be done. And so I tell her that, I'm like, hey, like, stuff still needs to be restocked. I just say that, flat out. And she goes, well, I was planning on doing it after I'm done dishes. She, like, pours it out really fast, like she's just had it ready. I just say, whatever. I've had enough at this point. I've been working a long time. What's another 10 minutes? Because I have to do this myself. And then I just say, whatever. She's like, do you want me to stop doing dishes? I can help if you want me to stop doing it. I'll just stop doing it now.
I hate
And
people
again,
like that.
I'm just like, yeah. Again, I'm just at that point where I'm just so tired that I don't have the energy to deal with it, and so I just say, I'm doing it now. It's whatever. It's fine. You know, I'm hoping that's it. That's the end.
Oh, it's not the end. It's never the end with these stories.
It is never the end. And so I just keep restocking. And so finally she's like, are you mad at me? Did I do something? Like, are you mad at me? Obviously, I'm frustrated, but I wouldn't say I was mad at that point.
Right.
So I just said, no, I'm just tired. Which I was. I was very tired.
Mm.
Brian, I don't know why in any reality she thought this was okay to say.
Oh no.
She immediately comes back with, oh, okay, you've just been really pissy with me all night, so I didn't know what I'd done.
I want to punch
just
her in the
wanted to
face.
know."
Can I punch her in the face?
I know,
Can
exactly.
I throw a punch?
I was just like, what? Yeah, it was like, why would you say that?
I would have
Why?
lost my shit. I would have been like, pissy, huh?
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly. I was like, there is no faster way to get someone mad at you than telling them they are mad. From all my experience, and of all things, like saying it like that, like like, am I supposed to apologize after that? Like, what was she expecting for me to just get on my hands and knees and be like, I'm so sorry that I have created this attitude and atmosphere that has felt hostile towards you. I am so sorry that if it came off that way. Please, can you find it in your heart to forgive me? Like, no. Grow a spine. Grow some thicker skin. People are just going to be frustrated in general, and they're going to be in a bad mood. That doesn't mean it's on you. But now it was on her.
That's the exact
Now
moment.
it
That's the
was.
exact reason why I don't mind being an asshole sometimes at work. Because it's like,
Again,
do your
I
fucking
was
job.
just too tired. I was just too tired at this point.
Right.
I just didn't talk for the rest of the night,
I get that.
like, to her
I
whatsoever.
understand that.
Because at that point, there was only like 20 minutes or 30 minutes left in the shift. And I just wanted to be done. I just wanted to go home and get dinner.
I get that.
So then, this same night, mind you, she's counting tips at the
Mhm.
end, right?
Something she doesn't even
And-
want.
Yeah, exactly. Something she doesn't want. Doesn't think any of us should be getting. But she'll still take it. She's, counting out the change. You got the dollars, and she's counting out the change. And now, the thing about change is, at least half of the people that work there don't like extra change. They don't care about, like, 16 cents.
Right.
They don't care about 75
No, I get
cents.
that.
They just don't want to deal with
I'm one
it.
of the weird people that
And so-
do. Just because I collect the coins.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I have a massive coin jar that I'm just gonna like put through one of those coin machines. and I'm gonna get,
Don't
like,
do that.
$60
Don't
from
do
it.
that.
I do collect special coins. I got a 1903 penny I found.
No, don't do that because they take 15% of your coins.
They also do that.
Right. That's why I actually hand count my coins. I don't let it build up as much, but I hand count them and then put them away when they're full. That is a much
That's
better situation to do. Sorry.
But no, you're good.
Tangent. Just trying to save you money, my man.
And so some people, because they don't like dealing with
Mhm.
change, they'll do two things. They'll either put it back in the tip jar for the next shift in the morning, or they'll just offer it to you. They'll say, "Hey, do you want my change?" That's cool. If they offer it, I'll say yes. Everything helps, and I'm keeping it. I'm holding on to it. I'm saving up. But I also don't say anything if they put it in the tip jar, because that's their choice. It's their money, and once they let go of it, that's that.
Right.
And so she's counting it out, and she's asked me, she's like, "Hey, do you want 4 cents?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take 4 cents, It's not much, but I'll take it. 4 cents extra that I've earned."
Right.
And so then time passes on, and then we're wrapping up, and I go over to get my tips, and tips are usually just kept right next to each other, everyone's
Mhm.
tips, the stack. And I look at it, and I see it. We got the same amount of dollars, but we also both have 4 cents. And then I'm like, well, that's odd. Why would she And then it hits me. She wasn't asking if I wanted her 4 cents. She was asking if I wanted to keep my 4 cents and give it to her.
Ah, yeah. I've never. I don't even have an experience similar to that. That's so
I know.
fucking.
I know. Like, that's so scummy. Like, you don't. I don't care if it's 4 cents. You just don't ask for people's tip money unless they offer it to you. And even then, if they like put it in the tip jar and they're gonna go to it, you still don't ask. Oh well, I'll take it. You just don't say that. You just accept it.
I actually am a little bit different when it comes to the tip jar and that. If they're on their way to the tip jar, because a big thing with us is that we don't get tips that often. Unless you're doing dine-ins, you don't really get tipped. It goes into a big tip jar. And so for most of my pickup orders that I have to deal with, I always put the money into the tip jar. Basically, that's what you're supposed to do. There's one person in the shop that doesn't, and we all kind of despise her for it. I don't know why we...
Oh, she just like pockets
Yeah.
it?
She's allowed to. Technically, because the boss allows it, but none of the other counter kids allow it. We all give her, like, shady eyes when she does it. And I'll give her shit. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this? And she's like, I gotta pay off my car payment for my Jeep. And I'm like, bro, just get more, do more dine-ins then. Or work more hours. Don't steal other people's tips. Because that tip, because now it kind of, when it goes into the tip jar, it goes to everybody. Evenly.
Right. Yeah, it's just split evenly.
So she just keeps it. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? But when she does a dine-in, and I help her, because a big thing that I do is that I'll help people. Especially if I'm not doing anything and I'm bored, I'll just be like, yeah, I'll go, I'll do them a favor and I'll do some stuff for them. And she'll try to give me like $1 or $2, but I'll never accept $1 from her. I actually don't accept dollars from most people. Not because I don't want the money. It's just almost like I'm not doing it for the tip. I'm doing it just as a favor. Like I'm just doing it because I can. So I don't really accept that tip. But one thing that always pisses me off, and a trainee did it on Tuesday, where they have their tip and they put it in the tip jar. Here's why that pisses me off. It's because you just did all the work. Not saying that not everyone deserves it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you earned that tip and you decide to put it in a tip jar. It's normally just the cents too. It's just the cents they like to do this with. And I'm like,
Right.
no one else in here collects cents. I do. I make it very clear to everybody that I collect the cents. My friends do it. My friends don't keep the cents. Most people around me don't keep the cents. Hell, Katie doesn't keep the cents. I do. I make that very clear because I keep that money because I have this M&M jar and I just put money in it and I'll count it up later because I don't want to be scammed by a fucking Coinstar.
Right.
And they put the cents in there, and then I kind of get offended because I'm like, damn, I collect cents. Me and you know this. What the fuck? Just give that money to me if that's what it's gonna be like. I don't say it to them.
That's like a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't say it directly to them.
Because you're the only one that collects the cents.
Right.
But at Kilby's, it's like a 50-50.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily directly tell them, but if I see someone going to it, I'm like, hey, I collect cents. Yeah, I'll take it from you. I mean, I'll take that 30 cents. Because counting up the cents sucks ass. And I know my boss has to directly count the tips. So I'm really just saving her time. And I'm the one that counts the money anyways. A few days ago, I had count.
I'll be... Oh, sorry.
You continue. I'll say what
yeah,
I was
I was just saying, like, when they're putting it in the tip jar, like, they're putting it back, like, I will think, like, I'll take it. I just don't say anything.
So a few days ago, I had to count $60 worth of quarters.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the exact reason why I don't mind saying it, because I'm the one that counts. I don't count what's in the tip jar, but I count everything else. So I'll take a few cents extra because I'm doing this, and thus I don't accept the money that they give me. So it's almost like a trade-off. Like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing a favor for you by doing the dine-ins and not accepting any tip. Like, if it's a lot, I might accept like $1 or $2, but more than that, no. But if I'm just helping you get plates, I don't want your $1. But in exchange, later on, I expect a few pennies in my direction, you know?
The trade-off.
Oh yeah, when I counted the $60 in coins, the driver that gave me those $60 in quarters decided to buy me gummy bears, which I thought was nice.
Oh.
He didn't have to do that, and I thought it was a brand I've never seen, and they were almost like Scooby-Doo hard gummies, which they were so great. Like they were a lot better than I expected, and he didn't have to do that for me. But someone had the audacity to be like, "Hey, can I have a few gummy bears?" And I'm like, I don't see your bitch ass counting any quarters. I'm dead ass. I said that. I said that because I was like, I'm sorry. I just counted 240 quarters for you to then ask me for a few gummy bears. No, fuck off. Get away from me. I just did all this work.
Oh man, I wish I could talk like that. If I talked like that to one of my coworkers, it'd be like an instant fire.
The thing is, I've built up such a reputation in the place that I work right now. It's not that I can say anything I want. It's that people respect the person I am and the boundaries I have. There's one person who doesn't. They don't respect the boundaries I set. Like I'll bring in my pen. I'll bring in my specific pen because I like writing with it, and it's so that I know it never get lost. And she fights me so much about why I will never let her use my pen. And she's like, "It's just a pen." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but it's my pen. I brought it. It's for me. It's so I never lose
The
it."
counter argument is, if it is just a pen, then why do you want to use it so badly?
Exactly. I'm like, "Go get another
Now,
pen."
Why does she want?
There's a whole cup of pens over there. And every time that I'm doing deliveries, someone takes my pen to go fucking draw a smiley face on a card and then lose the pen. And I have to go get another one. Or I have to go find one. And on a night like a Friday, and they do that shit, oh my god. I'm like, I need a pen. Where's a fucking pen? I have to like scramble because I need that pen now. But if I have my own pen, I just pop that thing in my pocket and it's no issue because it's mine.
Right.
And if I leave it out, I don't want to have to worry about someone touching it. But obviously, if someone's working that day, that one person, if she's watching that, you know who you are, she fucking touches my pen. And every time, I'm like, do not touch my pen. It is my pen. Like,
Oh man.
I know I'm very, pitiful about this. Not petty about this. But it is my pen. It helps me get through the night. It just, it allows me to do my job more efficiently. So don't touch my fucking pen unless you have permission.
I love how, like, that's the hottest point of contention is the use of your pen. And then I'm over here with people, like, just having a higher sense of self and trying to steal money from me. I wish I had your job.
Well, another thing that people do like to, because I'm in the position that I am, where I'm at the head counter, like the head computer counter.
Yeah.
They like to bump me out of my spot. And I'm like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck? Get out of my way. I'm doing my job. Get. They're like, "Hey, Brian, can I do this?" And I'm like, "No, fuck off." I don't say that, but I'm like, I'm thinking it. If they're really like that during the night, I will say that. Because they'll just be like, they'll be on my shit. They'll be all on my dick. And I'm like,
Right.
Guys, you need to back up. Like, I am doing my job. You're in the way. And if they keep asking me, like, inevitably, like, I just fold. And I tell my boss, I'm like, they literally been in my shit. And then she's like, I get it. So sometimes I'll be doing my job. They'll kick me out. And I just stand there and do nothing. And I get paid for it because my boss understands. Just like, I give up. There's 3 of them. They're all trying to do my job. All 3 of them are doing one person's job. And I can't fight it. So.
Can't fight it sometimes.
Yeah.
But to top off the stories of this girl, it only gets worse, Brian.
We only have about 5 minutes, so just...
Oh, that's true. A quick side note. Nobody has her actual phone number. Everyone has to text her mom.
Oh, that's good.
Our manager has to text her mom and schedule with her mom when she's
That's
free.
hot.
Sometimes her mom just doesn't even tell us what's going on. One time the girl didn't show up for work, and our boss had to call her. And the mom was like, yeah, she had a headache, so I gave her some, like, 5 pills of melatonin. She's asleep now. And she was going to be asleep for, like, 5 hours. She also doesn't have her driver's license because she's 19 because she doesn't want to pay insurance. She doesn't want to pay money for it.
That's, I guess, more understandable.
She lied about her age and whether or not she had graduated high school. so she could get cheaper college,
Fun.
which is probably illegal.
Probably.
And so this final story is that, so if we're about to close and someone's coming down the driveway and it is a long driveway and they're already like on the driveway as we're locking the doors, we gotta let them in.
Right.
You know. If there's no one on the driveway, we don't have to let them in.
I'm sorry.
And
Quick
so-
question.
Yep.
It's the one across from the elementary school, right? Okay.
Yep, right across from Resington.
I shit myself there. Sorry, I'm thinking about it. I was like,
At Kilby's?
yeah, on the slide. Sorry, I was just trying to like remember. I was like, oh wait, Kilby's. That's across from the elementary school. I shit myself there at the park at the thing. My grandma was there. She had to clean my ass. I remember. Sorry, you can continue.
Alright, so she did not like the fact that people had to be let in after we technically closed, because she would still have to work. And it is annoying, admittedly, but it's like, that's the rule, and you just gotta accept it, and you live with
Right.
it, and you move on. And so, I don't think anything of it, but our manager is there this one night, and she's letting people in, and my coworker, she just starts, like, giving me the side eye. Like, she's visually upset about this, and she wants me to know she's upset about it, as if I'm gonna back her in it, right? And so finally everyone clears out, and she turns to my boss. She goes, I'm not gonna say the name, but she's gonna say, "Manager, I know you're my manager and everything, and when you give me this schedule and this shift, I agree to work it, and it's hours. But I also have an expectation that I'm going to be out of here at a certain time and be done with this shift. And I don't appreciate you letting people into the building after we've closed and keeping me here and keep working." And I'm trying not to laugh audibly. Like, I am snickering, keeping it in. Because I thought she was joking at first. And once I realized that she was serious, I was losing my mind. She is a minimum wage part-time worker, just as me, talking down to our manager as if she's like high and mighty. And I just don't understand why she hasn't been fired up to this point, because it's just like she keeps doing stuff like this all the time. And my boss,
don't know, man.
my manager, she like leans over to me and she's like, "Do you have a problem with me letting people in?" I was like, "No, not at all." It's like, it's crazy. And I even brought it up again with my manager later, and I was like, "What was that all about?" Like, it was like 2 days later or whatever. I was like, "What was going on?" And she was like, "Oh, I almost lost my shit on her." I was like, "You should have." But I just, I said, like, what? It's so crazy. Like, you can't imagine of someone doing something like that.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't
Ethan, it's always fun to keep around someone you hate, because then you can always hate them. Like, one of my
Yes.
favorite things to do now is gossip. I gossip all the fucking time now because it is
I love to
it is
gossip.
so fun to do at work.
It is.
So you keep around
At
someone
this-
you hate, so you can be like, they're terrible.
Everyone mutually hates her too. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Nobody likes her. And we all gossip, and it's a fun time.
Ethan, that's why I keep you around.
That's why I keep you around.
Wait, how's that work? I'm the channel owner. I literally run this channel. What do you mean? You're not my boss? Or wait, are you my boss?
I created the podcast. I'm the manager of the podcast.
Is that how that works?
I don't know. I'm saying that's how it works.
But I edit the videos.
That's true. But you wouldn't have videos to edit if I didn't mention this.
I think we're at a stalemate.
I think we are. And that's why we keep each other around.
Bada boom, bada bing, baby.
Easy money.
All right. I think this is a good place to end it today. I hopefully you agree.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Crash channel. I'll see you guys next Friday with another lovely podcast, as we always do. I'm surprised we kept it on schedule as well, as long as we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Ethan, I'll see you next time. I'll actually keep his goodbye this time.
Yep.
Good. Say goodbye. Good.
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, good. I never keep that in.
Yeah, I was about to say it like over top of you so I could get it
Okay,
in.
good.
I was ready.
Actually, everybody, I'll see you later. Peace out.